Hello again, I am Blunty, that's an iPhone right there, and as of today, iOS 14.5 has been released, and with it, amongst some other features, is compatibility with the DualSense controller from the PlayStation 5, and also the new Xbox controllers as well, if you want to go that route, but I just happen to have an extra one of these sitting around that I bought before I could even get my hands on the PlayStation 5. I'll link to the various videos about that stuff in the down below if you're curious about that, but I've also had this sitting on my shelf waiting for this day. I haven't actually unboxed this thing yet at all. I thought I'll do a live unboxing, a first impressions kind of thing. So that's what we're going to do today. I've just got a freshly updated version of 14.5 on there. So without further ado, let's have a look at this. Now, I'm not a huge fan of mobile gaming in general, partly because mobile gaming is responsible for a lot of the worst aspects of gaming today, that being the microtransactions, the loot box kind of stuff, the nickel and dime, everything kind of bullshittery. But mostly, even the games that don't have that sort of stuff on mobile, they kind of suck anyway. Like Minecraft, for example, basically unplayable on a phone because the touchscreen interface is just so terrible. And of course, we've been able to connect controllers to our stuff for a while now, but I've never really bothered with it because, well, I have better options. I've got a Switch and I've got the other consoles, and I was out buying some other stuff. And this was on sale and it was cheap. And I thought, well, you know what, I've tried a few of these in the past. These little clamp-like devices that clamp onto your controller and then clamp onto your phone and things like that and hold it there so you can use your controller on your phone and do it handheld and make it less awkward and everything. But frankly, all of the other ones I've tried in the past have been crap. They've been wibbly-wobbly, flimsy pieces of crap. But this is from PowerWave, and I've tried a few different PowerWave bits and pieces recently. I've made a couple of videos about a couple of them. So I decided to give their version a go and see if it's any better. So, well, it already feels like it's pretty decent plastic. I'll give it that much. That doesn't inspire confidence. That's a fairly plasticky sound. I'll just look at... Oh, okay. So both ends screw together to... how quick... You know what? It might not be too wibbly. But the thing is, I use the big phone, big and heavy phone. And generally when you clip these things onto your controller, which presumably, head first? Head first. There we go. Ooh, actually that goes on there quite well. That's very secure. It doesn't slide side to side very much at all. It doesn't obscure any of the buttons. Yeah, we can still get to those pretty good. Yeah, and doesn't obscure the charging port if you want to charge and go on the go. That's kind of important. You'd hope they would think about that. And we can put it sort of above the controller, or above the controller, or, what would you say? Would you call that above, or that above? That's above the controller, but that's above the controller. We're getting into semantics issues here already. So let me just cramp this down. We'll start up a game on my phone, and we'll see how we go. Alrighty, so connection was pretty straightforward. Just put your controller in sync mode, and make your phone sync to it via Bluetooth. So yeah, this, I already don't like this. Again, big heavy phone, I've got the big version of the phone. It's throwing off the complete balance of the controller. This is an awful way to play. It doesn't feel good. It pulls the controller down out of your, always wants to just tilt the controller out of your hands. It's awful. It's probably, I don't know if this is even worse than on-screen controls, basically, when we're trying to do this. It's horrible. So, let's just undo our little multi-booze here. We'll put it above the controller. Let's see how we do. About that angle should be fine-ish. There we go. Now then, so we're hovering above the controller here. I can't see my controller buttons, but that's okay. We know where they are and my orientation's gone. There we go. Okay. So, yeah, a little bit better balanced in this sort of aspect here, but again, I can't see my controller, so if you're one of those people who always, you switch between different different systems frequently, as I do, between, PlayStation, Xbox, and PC, and Switch and stuff, you sometimes have to look at the controller and remind yourself which button is where sometimes. Don't know how you feel about that, but also the other problem is I haven't played this game in quite some time, so I forget what control goes where. This is Genshin Impact, in case you're curious, which is a kind of a open-worldy, Breath of the Wild looking-y thing. Free-to-play, it's actually quite good. Not too aggressive for a free-to-play game. I quite enjoyed my time with it. Haven't played it in a while, though. But, it feels good. It feels well balanced. We are still a little bit wibbly here, but there's not much you can do about that. Physics, really. Unless you want to make one of these out of, metal and decide on the angle beforehand and everything, then you're going to have some play. But this isn't too bad. Let's tighten it up and see how much of that we can get rid of. Yeah, not a lot. Still wibbles and wobbles a little bit, but again, that's just physics. Not sure how much of that you can avoid. Let's try putting it just above the controller here so I can still see our controller, but also see the screen at the same time. Actually, yeah, that's not too bad. The balance is all right. I mean, this is very much going to be a personal taste thing, how you orientate this thing. That's not the button I need to pick up things. There we go. You know what? I could play like this. I think I could play like this. I mean, quite frankly, to be honest with you, I do prefer this style of controller as well, that sort of clamps either side of your phone, so you can use it, well, a lot more like a Switch actually. But this one, which I reviewed relatively recently, this is for Android, has USB-C there, so I can't use this on my iPhone. And Razer did say they were going to send me the iOS one, but they never got around to it. So I can use this in the meantime, pair it with that, until I can get around to getting myself one of these. But yeah, if you're making a decision between the clamp-on ones, you go, I'll just use it with the controller I already have, or I'll buy a dedicated controller for my mobile phone, I would definitely go this way. This way is a lot more comfortable to use. It just really, really is. So yeah, if you're choosing between those two, I would say that one. Fairly strongly recommend that one, because this is a compromise. It's a compromise. It's not bad. All right, so let's just get rid of this for a second and have a look at the quality of this clamp. So, yeah, it's kind of flimsy. I mean, I use a lot of clamps sort of in this style of spring-loaded thing because, well, I use them for my camera work, basically. I've got a lot of clamps, look like just like this, but with, quarter 20 screws on the bottom or the back or something, so you can mount it to a tripod or whatever. And the spring feels pretty good, but yeah, the build quality of the plastic sprues here, the struts, sprues, things, linkages. I'm not doing well with words today. They feel pretty flimsy. I feel like that would break very easily if you're not particularly careful with it. It does have a grip pad here and here to stop your phone slipping around too much, and then the little legs here as well, so that's good. Your phone's not going to slide around sideways too much or accidentally pressing your volume buttons, which is an issue with a lot of these clamps. But yeah, build quality it's a lot better than pretty much every other version of this that I've ever tried. In fact, I think I've thrown away every single one I've tried. So yeah, if you're looking for a halfway decent one, PowerWave is a halfway decent one. I would rather suggest you not game on mobile and game on actual gaming machines that are designed for it instead. But if you must game on mobile, if you're one of those kids these days who play their Fortnites and their God knows what else on the mobiles, this is not a gaming device. This is a camera for me, but Thanks for watching. I am Blunty, and I will catch you next time. Play games wherever makes you happiest. I'm not going to judge you too harshly, but mobile gaming is a horrifically toxic, cancerous aspect to the gaming industry, and is responsible for some of the worst things we have in gaming today. I'm just going to say that. Oh, and thank you as always to the patrons scrolling up above there, naturally. Your above and beyond support is very nice. I kind of wanted to end on a sour note, but then I remembered I had to thank the patrons, so whiffed it.